This morning, two Metro Atlanta district attorneys say they are prepared to fight a controversial elections bill in court, reportedly signed by Governor Kemp. House Bill 369 changes how some local races will appear on the ballot in 5 different counties, removing party labels for certain offices.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. This story coming out of Georgia is turning into yet another political war between Republicans and one of the most controversial prosecutors in America, Fani Willis. However, this time, the fight isn't directly about President Donald Trump, at least not officially. It's about elections, party labels, power, turnout, and who controls the political future of Atlanta's biggest counties. Because Georgia Governor Kemp just signed a new law that removes party labels from many local elections in the Atlanta metro area. And Fani Willis is absolutely furious about it. She is now threatening to sue the state of Georgia, claiming Republicans are trying to manipulate elections and Democratic strongholds. So let's talk about it. Welcome to Nellie Miranda.
One of the bills that's been getting a lot of attention that's now on your desk is the bill that would make elections nonpartisan for 5 metro counties. We had a news conference here just yesterday. Local officials urging you to veto the legislation. Where are you with that?
Well, I think I'll get urged to veto a lot of things, and I'll be asked to sign a lot of things. I really haven't looked at that bill. I'm still focused on getting our bills passed, not what I may or may not veto.
As always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Okay, so that clip was from a few months ago, and they have come to fruition. So let me explain. According to the new law signed by Kemp, many local officials in the 5 largest counties around Atlanta will now run in nonpartisan elections, meaning no Democrat labels, no Republican label. Voters would see the names, but not the party affiliation, beside them on the ballot. And the counties impacted are not random counties either. We're talking about Fulton County, DeKalb County, Clayton County, Cobb County, and Gwinnett County. These are some of the bluest and most politically important counties in the state of Georgia. Republicans say that the move is about making local elections less partisan and improving public safety. Democrats say that it's an attempt to hide Republican candidates inside Democratic-heavy districts so that they have a better chance of winning.
This law stands to have an impact on voters in 5 metro Atlanta counties and what they see when they step into the ballot box. Starting in 2028, this law will apply to counties in Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Clayton, and Cobb counties. Races will be nonpartisan, and that means no Democrat or Republican labels will appear next to candidates' names on the ballot for certain county races. Voters would instead choose based on a candidate's name, record, and campaign rather than their party affiliation. And the bill applies to district attorneys' races, some county commissioners, tax commissioners, clerks of court, and solicitors general. Sheriffs are exempt along with the DeKalb County Commission. And supporters say this helps remove party politics from local offices, especially for positions like district attorney, where they say the focus should be on public safety and delivering justice and not party labels. And Republican lawmakers who back this bill say the bill gives voters a better chance to judge candidates on performance, not partisan branding.
I think that this law forces people to look into proposed policies and vote for the best candidate that aligns with their values. And if you want to piss Black people off, try to force them to read and research into something. Kidding. Because I am guilty too. If it is a Democrat against a Republican on the ballot, I am obviously going to check the Republican box whole time. They could have said they're about to send me back to slavery and I would have checked the box. Like, yep, that's my guy. Guilty as charged. But listen, seriously, I think that it is a good idea because people will vote against their own interest if they see a D next to the person's name or an R. So instead of it only being the law for those 5 counties, so that way Democrats don't feel targeted, maybe it should have been the entire state. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments.
We heard from leaders in Cobb County and civil rights activists calling for Governor Brian Kemp to veto this law, criticizing how it only applies to 5 counties instead of all the counties across the state.
5 counties should not be governed by rules that the other 154 counties do not have to follow.
You cannot claim to have found the gold standard for election integrity and then carefully restrict it to only Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Cobb, and Clayton counties. A principle is only a principle if it applies evenly.
So with this signing, the political chess game begins. Both parties are aware that turnouts matter more than almost anything. The law also reportedly shifts many of these elections from November to May elections, where turnout is significantly lower. That matters because lower turnout elections tend to favor more organized voters and more motivated political activists. So Democrats are looking at this and saying, wait a second, you're removing party labels and moving elections to lower turnout periods, and that is why Fani Willis and the Cobb County DA Sherry Boston immediately came out threatening legal action.
In a joint statement released by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and District Attorney in DeKalb County Sherry Boston, they are calling this bill clearly unconstitutional and vowing to fight it in court.
Their entire statement reads, "This is a blatant attempt by Republicans to give their candidates an edge in Democratic counties by hiding their party affiliation from voters. Worse, they make clear their bad faith and unconstitutional motives by applying this legislation to only 5 of the 159 counties in Georgia: Clayton, Cobb, DeKalb, Fulton, and Gwinnett. Those 5 counties have elected African-American Democratic women to serve as their district attorney." Listen, I hate to say it, but they have a point. This law should have been applied to all 159 counties because the optics do not look good. I mean, get Fani out of there after that mess that she pulled in the 2020 election case. But again, the optics here do not look good. So for context, Fani Willis launched an election interference case against President Donald Trump, and that is really what made her a national political figure. But then the entire case became overshadowed by allegations involving Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, accusations of misconduct, and eventually the Georgia Court of Appeals disqualifying Willis from continuing to prosecute the Trump election case. So Republicans in Georgia view Fani Willis as someone who weaponizes the justice system against conservatives, and then Democrats view any attacks on Fani Willis, regardless if warranted, as some sort of retaliation for prosecuting Trump. But moving on to something everyone should get behind, but somehow the Democrats have found a way to disagree with: fiscal discipline. Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp just signed a massive $36.6 billion state budget. But most importantly, he ordered a $300 million spending freeze at the same time.
As long as I'm governor, Georgia will not follow in the steps of Washington, D.C., where too many politicians refuse to make tough decisions necessary to keep spending in check.
So Georgia expects to bring in nearly $1 billion less in revenue because of recent tax cuts. Now, normally, politicians respond to that by raising taxes again or continuing to spend money like nothing happened. But Kemp's administration says that they are freezing over $300 million in new spending proposals instead. Existing programs like schools, public safety, and health care stay funded, but they are trying to slow down unnecessary growth in government spending. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, that's right. Governor Kemp says that with sizable tax cuts, the state is now bracing for less revenue to come in. So he says that now is the time to really press the brakes on any new spending. However, Democrats argue that that $300 million that had been approved would have gone towards vital state services that now the state won't get. So here is the breakdown. Kemp is telling state agencies to hit pause on that more than $300 million in proposed new spending as the state absorbs the cost of recent tax cuts. The governor's budget office says those cuts could reduce revenue by $1.3 billion, and he says that number could climb if the economy slows. Kemp insists existing services won't be cut because this only affects new spending, like, for example, Sunbucks. That was a summer meal program whose funding was approved this session and will now be rolled back. Democrats say the impact will be real, fewer resources and delays in key programs.
So while Washington continues adding trillions of dollars to national debt, some states are at least attempting to balance priorities with fiscal discipline. And I am not taking away from the work that J.D. Vance is currently doing. It is very much appreciated, but all governors should follow suit in financial discipline. Most of these social programs abuse tax dollars, and so I think it is time to start freezing new spending proposals nationwide. But Democrats said no. They're taking away your services that you need. They are taking away your rights. Is it services that you need or services that they need to swindle tax dollars? Oh.
The governor had to take a red pen and strike through so many things people depend on. It sounds great in the headlines. Headlines sound great. Oh, we're going to give you tax breaks. But what is underneath that is that you're going to lose the services that you depend on.
Well, what are your thoughts? Do you think removing party labels from local elections make races more fair and less partisan? And would you support a federal spending freeze similar to what Georgia is doing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you got any value from today's video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. And ring the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.